There is absolutely nothing in the world of finance, the economy, the stock market that will make me more of a confident trader or investor than doing the exact opposite of what Jim Cramer has to say, which is why I'm here to bring you some good news if you're crypto, more specifically a Bitcoin bull, because this is what he literally just said yesterday about Bitcoin.
What are we doing with these? Let's stop fooling around. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's topping out, by the way. So I'm going to say enough is enough and ka-ching is ka-ching. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of the lightning round.
He said, Mr. Jim Cramer said, Bitcoin is topping out, which makes me very confident we are the exact opposite of topping out. It feels as if that is the only definitive thing that will guarantee Bitcoin pushes higher. As I'm filming this, just for the point of posterity, I want you to know that Bitcoin is trading at 46.5K. Obviously, it ripped up to conclude the year, and then it had a bit of consolidation, a fake out breakout, and then some weird volatility with related to the ETF. And ever since then, it kind of recouped, and it seems like we are on that track to 48, 50,000 in the short term. Obviously, none of this is a guarantee, but it feels as if there's a lot of positive fervor, FOMO, excitement going into the expected approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, if you want to get a little bit more of a nuanced breakdown of really what's happening in the crypto sphere, right here, the market cap, 1.72 trillion. Just yesterday, it was 1.66 trillion. Bitcoin itself is now over $900 billion. That has not happened in a hot minute, on its way to a 1 trillion market cap, actually officially flipping Meta, aka Facebook, in its total value. So why is everything going up? Why is there so much excitement? Once again, it comes to the spot Bitcoin ETF. We will be hearing from the SEC, basically Gary Gensler and his team, by Wednesday, January 10th. That is the official date that they have to respond to the public and all these companies by of are they approving, are they denying? And based on some other secondary, tertiary things going on, the odds of approval are extraordinarily high. SEC hustles to answer latest Bitcoin ETF filings with a Wednesday deadline. Looming, the regulator sent comments just hours after would-be issuers filed documents detailing their fees. The US SEC officials sent comments to a set of prospective issuers of Bitcoin ETFs just hours after the companies filed documents detailing fees for the prospected products. So yesterday I was talking about the ETF War, and what this war is the fee for being in the ETF, which they're generally pretty small, but there is a little bit of a management fee. They are now trying to underprice each other, and it's absolutely hilarious. So this, at least at the time that I'm filming this, this is where it currently stands, with Bitwise being the cheapest, coming in at 0.24%, and it's zero for the first 6 months, and then everyone else is doing their own little twist on it. But what is interesting is that Grayscale is coming in at 1.5, so their management fee considerably higher than the cheapest one of Bitwise. So this is where things are at right now. It's basically a race to the bottom because everyone's trying to attract the most money at first, because there's a fair argument of like whoever gets the lead right out of the gate might end up being the overall winner, if we want to call anything like a winner in that center. Basically, who's managing the most money in their Bitcoin ETF. So that's how things currently stand. The issuer should file updated documents today, Tuesday. The comments address minor details in the amended S1 forms rather than significant changes, and should not affect the timeline for potential approval by the regulator. Issuers hoping to launch spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US, including BlackRock, Grayscale, and Fidelity, announced their expected fees in the filings, which I literally just showed to you. All right, that's kind of more of the regulatory legalese type of a breakdown. You're probably more interested in, if this happens, where could things go? Just in, Bitcoin could hit 200,000. That is a 2 followed by 5 other zeros in 24 if ETFs are approved according to Standard Chartered. So you might be wondering, how did they come up with it? And right here, it all has to do with the inflows to these ETFs. Multinational bank Standard Chartered calling for 50 billion to 100 billion of inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETFs in 2024. Yes, that's a very high number, 200,000, but we're talking about that hitting in a short time. Bitcoin's trading at 47K. That's a big percentage gain. The US SEC is expected to approve the spot ETFs for Bitcoin imminently. The ETF approval could create significant Bitcoin price upside based on the historical performance of gold ETPs. We see price gains materializing faster for Bitcoin than in gold as the BTC ETF market matures more rapidly. So historically, I've shown you the inflows of back in the early 2000s when we actually got gold ETFs. That's what happens. Now that retirement accounts, active money accounts in Wall Street can easily put money into it, a certain percentage decide to do so, representing more demand. We look for US dollars of $50 billion to $100 billion of inflows into Bitcoin ETFs in 2024 alone, opening up potential Bitcoin to reach up to $200,000 by the end of 2025. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now, once again, is any of this a guarantee? No, but it is some very, very interesting reasoning based on historic performance of similar situations. That's exactly why I'm holding on to my long Bitcoin position. You know who isn't holding on to their positions? The people betting against it. Bitcoin ETF approval expected soon. Bears lose 100 milli. Futures tracking crypto markets saw some 155 million in shorts liquidated in the past 24 hours after a sudden uptick in price in US hours. Basically, the bears got blown out. Traders betting against the higher Bitcoin price lost over 100 million in the past 24 hours as expectations of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval in the US neared the finish line. BTC surged as high as 9% on Monday before giving back some gains as prices jumped over 47,000 for the first time since March of 2022. Traders on the crypto exchange OKX took the most losses of 84 milli, followed by Binance at 71 million. Open interest jumped over 8% in the past 24 hours, suggesting traders opened more bets after the liquidation event as they likely expect volatility to continue. The TLDR on that is everything's heating up. And if you can't handle the heat, get out of the crypto kitchen. Final note on all of this is I'm even more confident than I guess the analysts are given of this approval, because all of a sudden we're seeing weird things. The SEC is saying no go to FOMO, telling people not to FOMO. Well, why are they putting this message out when it comes to crypto right now? It feels like they're like, all right, our arms being twisted, we have to approve it. And they're doing the really, really weird commentary to try to get people to not FOMO into it. And then even Gary Gensler himself joined in a threat. Some things to keep in mind if you're considering investing in crypto assets. And then he just kind of like, there's fraudsters, there's dangers, don't FOMO. So right now, I personally believe that the writing is on the wall. If you look at what's going on with Gensler, the SEC, even Coinbase said that they're going to have to do maintenance tomorrow, Wednesday, around midday. What's that all about? The amount of the big players managing trillions of dollars who are vying for a position to have a spot ETF. There's just too much money at stake. And more importantly than that, more important than the money, is from a legal perspective. And please understand, I'm no legal expert. I don't speak legalese, but I can read the commentary from people who do. The SEC has no legal leg to stand on to not allow this, since they've already created a Bitcoin futures ETF. So basically, when all the T's are crossed, when all the I's are dotted, I believe Wednesday, January 10th, we are less than 24 hours away from approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. And I'm expecting like crazy volatility. Now, I'm not an active trader of it. I have a little active position, but 99% of my position is just literally sitting in Bitcoin. Like it just sits there. So I'm going to watch the volatility, all of my popcorn. I think it's going to be very, very exciting. But really, I think a key thing to understand here is even with the short-term excitement and most likely price movement to the upside, once again, not guaranteed, I think it's still better to understand the big picture of where things are going. I don't need a short-term decent gain where I can hold on for longer, have patience, and understand what's going on with really monetary policy and truly see where this asset class is going. So I, for one, am extraordinarily excited. I hope you are too, but I want to know from you guys. Let me know, do you think on the approval, things are going to rip with Bitcoin, or do you think it's going to be more of a buy the rumor, sell the news? What do you guys think it's going to be?